Maybe right now your finger is hovering over the screen, ready to swipe away from this content. If that's happening, I want you to notice something profound. That impulse to leave isn't actually yours. It's just an old part of you, a fragment from the past that fears what you're about to discover. That part knows that if you stay here, its control over your patterns will weaken. What if today was the day you choose to stop listening to it? Take a deep breath and allow yourself to listen. It might be the beginning of a transformation much greater than you imagine. I know that often your mind repeats the same images like a scratched record. You close your eyes and feel intense emotions. Imagine a bright future, but notice that the present remains the same. Maybe it even moves a little, a quick change, a sign or validation that appears and disappears. And soon you find yourself trapped again in the same cycle of thoughts and situations. It's as if your inner self had a powerful vision, but that vision never materialized. And this raises an important question. Why does something so vivid inside you seem not to become real out there? Today, in this video here at Quantum Labs, you will discover that visualization alone doesn't transform reality. There's a larger field, a universal intelligence, operating much more deeply. It's not just about daydreaming about tomorrow, but about creating a real link with that dimension, a quantum manifestation that connects you to what you want to live. There's a huge difference between imagining the life of your dreams and becoming the person who already lives that life in a parallel reality. Visualization is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The true secret, the missing piece for many, lies in the strength and purity of that connection. No matter how clear the image of what you want to experience, it will remain distant as long as your state of being doesn't vibrate at the same frequency as it. Many of us learn to ask, believe, and accept, but what really happens is more subtle. The quantum field doesn't respond to please. It responds to authentic connection, to vibrational honesty, and to the genuine version of who you are in your daily life. This means the universe doesn't listen to the words you speak, but reads the reality you live. It's your breathing self, your everyday feelings, your constant choices, not just the persona that emerges during meditation time. When this understanding hits deep, everything changes. Not because you started working harder or thinking more positively, but because you stopped begging. You stopped giving the world and people signals that your ideal life is far away. You then begin to see that life is something that can connect to you now. And this connection isn't just a philosophical concept. It's a real quantum manifestation with very specific qualities, unshakable confidence, and a constant flow. This flow isn't in a hurry, doesn't want anything, doesn't doubt. Time stops being an issue because this force simply knows. When you think and feel like someone who is already aligned with what you desire, the quantum field reacts correspondingly. Not because it's a judge or a master, but because there's no other way for it to happen. The frequency you vibrate is the frequency it returns. This is the key to realizing that change isn't about asking more or visualizing better, but about becoming the living expression of that connection, here and now. But maybe you're wondering, why does this change seem so difficult? Why is it so easy to imagine something wonderful but so challenging to maintain the feeling that it's already yours? The answer is that throughout your entire life, you've been conditioned to believe in someday. From early on, you were taught that you'd need to wait, work hard, prove your worth, and only then conquer what you desire. This programming created in you an attachment to the distant future, as if happiness was always a few steps ahead. Now, perhaps for the first time, you're being invited to break with this old way of thinking. It's not about fighting for a place that needs to be conquered, but about becoming now the version that previously only existed in your dreams. Of course, at first this might sound strange. It even seems like a lie we tell ourselves. But it's not a mistake. It's just the body reacting to a state of connection that isn't familiar to it yet. Your spirit always knew you're already connected to that reality, but your nervous system is still adjusting to feeling this energy in a stable way. This process is actually training. You're teaching your body what your consciousness has known for a long time. It's not about chasing destiny, but about engaging more and more with it. A natural doubt then arises. How to maintain this connection when around you nothing seems to have changed yet? The answer is simple and powerful. You are the one who initiates this connection. You choose to allow your inner state to guide your steps, and then external proof begins to appear as a consequence. When you shift your focus from what's missing to what already exists in the quantum field, something profound happens. Your attention stops being only on what you desire and moves to who you are in the parallel reality where this is already true. That's where the magic manifests. Each day you practice this alignment, you begin to feel differently. A version of yourself emerges that remains firm even when life presents challenges, that doesn't crumble under pressure, and that creates a new pattern of normalcy. The quantum field then approaches. Not because you asked with more intensity, but because you finally established a bond that cannot be broken. It's at this point that we stop talking just about manifestation and begin to understand true quantum manifestation, the kind that sustains itself in a deep entanglement with the dreamed reality. It's the difference between living in scarcity and living in fulfillment, between acting as if it were a lie and acting as someone who already embodies their truth. And here's the essential point. It's not about persuading universal intelligence, but about aligning with its most basic laws. There's a specific link, a thread of quantum connection that can be nurtured and strengthened. And when you learn to care for this link, the world around you responds naturally, consistently, and reliably. Maybe you want to reflect now. Would you be willing to remember what it's like to be deeply connected to the reality you've always visualized? Because in this instant, that access isn't distant. It doesn't depend on a future achievement, but on the decision to become, in the present, the one who already lives in that frequency. And it's important to make something very clear. The quantum field isn't interested in what you desire in words or in the images you collect on vision boards. It doesn't count how many positive affirmations you repeat per day. What the field recognizes is the state of being in which you remain. This identity isn't the one you declare out loud, but the one that shapes your posture, your way of entering an environment, the way you react in moments of silence, and what you do when no one is watching. In practice, this means something simple and transformative. If you imagine a life of abundance, but fear spending money, the strongest link you maintain isn't prosperity, but anxiety. If you desire love, but refuse compliments or keep distance when someone approaches, the strongest link is resistance. If you long for growth but insist on talking about your own life as if you were stuck, the dominant connection is with stagnation. The field doesn't observe your goals. It reflects the connection you feed the most. This is why so many people get disappointed on the manifestation path. They follow all the instructions. They meditate, write in journals, create mental scripts, visualize, but still don't see consistent results. Why? Because there's a disconnection between mind and body. They try to manifest through thoughts, while the body remains trapped in fear, insufficiency, and survival anxiety. True alignment only happens when your mind and body unite in the same frequency. The result, when there's this disconnection between what you desire and the identity you maintain, is a confused connection. The quantum field doesn't lie. It reflects exactly this fragmented state, revealing how much your energy is scattered. And maybe you've already felt this firsthand. That constant effort to change, but which ends up generating only more confusion and frustration. It's at this point that many people give up, without realizing that transformation happens precisely when thought, emotion, and action begin to walk together, strengthening the same quantum link. This alignment is known as coherence. When you're in coherence, your connection with the desired reality becomes firm, stable, and magnetic. The field has no other option but to respond to this unity because it becomes impossible to ignore. It's as if you stopped emitting contradictory signals and began transmitting a single clear frequency. Impossible to be confused. It's in this state that reality begins to reorganize around you. Think for a moment. Desiring something without having an identity that corresponds to that desire is creating chaos. It's like wanting to live abundance while still feeling eternally needy, or wanting to love while still seeing yourself as unworthy of being loved. Clarity emerges when what you are and what you desire meet. And it's not about desiring more strongly, but about knowing. The field doesn't respond to wanting. It responds to the state of knowing, to the recognition that you're already connected to what you seek. Then an important question arises: how to live from this knowing? Especially when there's no external validation. The answer is powerful. You create this validation within yourself. You don't need to wait for the world to confirm who you are. You present yourself to the world already as the version of yourself that inhabits the dreamed reality. You stop waiting for the feeling of achievement and begin to act, speak, and move like someone who has already achieved. Not through acting, but because you're remembering your essence when everything around still seems uncertain. Many scholars call this different things. Some talk about living from the desire already fulfilled, others about creating new neural pathways, still others about coherence between heart and mind. But the principle is the same. Stop trying to become and simply be. And when you sustain this choice repeatedly, something extraordinary happens. your nervous system begins to adapt. Your internal dialogue stops sabotaging your energy, and little by little, this state becomes so natural that you can barely remember what it was like to live trapped in limitation. Of course, this requires courage. Inhabiting a version of yourself that the world doesn't yet recognize can seem lonely, confusing, and even false at first. But this doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means your old identity is trying to maintain control. You can observe it, recognize its presence, but you don't need to allow it to continue driving your life. In this moment, you become the anchor. You become your own reference, instead of waiting for something external to validate it. And that's when everything begins to change. You stop waiting for transformation and begin to be the transformation itself. You stop projecting your dreams as something distant and begin to recognize that they already exist in a parallel reality, much more stable and real than what your limited mind used to imagine. This version of you already knows how to walk, how to decide, how to feel in fullness. Your mission isn't to create this version, but to align with it and allow universal intelligence to do the rest. Training the body to feel safe in the state of fullness is essential. The more your subconscious gets used to this vibration, the stronger the connection becomes. And when this connection strengthens, the field inevitably responds. It's at this point that you realize you're not here to force the realization of your dreams, but to understand that there already exists a version of you living exactly this. The key is to stop fighting, stop pushing, and recognize that quantum manifestation happens when you finally decide to be who you always were. This is where true transformation happens. When you begin to live as if what you desire were already a natural part of your life. Many people confuse this concept. Some oversimplify it. Others even make jokes, thinking it's just a game of acting, a kind of theater in which you pretend to be someone you're not yet. But it's not about that. Embodying the as if isn't about wearing a mask to please others, nor trying to fool yourself. It's something much deeper. It's an energetic conditioning, a conscious alignment of your body, your mind, and your emotional field with the reality you want to experience. In other words, you position yourself internally before the external world gives you permission to do so. When you live as if you already had what you desire, you're not waiting for external proof. You're creating the proof within yourself. You're sending the quantum field a clear and coherent message: I'm ready. This is already connected to me. Bring back this reality. I know it's not easy, because the environment around you may still insist on reminding you of the old you. Maybe your finances show challenges. Maybe your relationships are still rooted in old patterns. Maybe your routine still seems limited. But the invitation is this: act from the new connection, even when external evidence says otherwise. Why? Because that's how energy transforms into matter. It's not about waiting for something to change, but about becoming that change. You don't need to change everything at once. It's not about a sudden revolution. The central point is in how you position yourself in daily life, how you talk about yourself, how you move your body, how you react when something positive happens. Do you celebrate fully, or do you let doubt corrode your joy? Every detail, however small it may seem, is a silent declaration to the field. When you decide you're already part of a new reality, your actions stop being mere automatic reactions and become magnetic. Ask yourself, how would I start my day if I were already living the life I desire? What clothes would I choose if no one were watching me? How would I breathe, eat, move, and communicate if I were already this expanded version of myself? This process isn't about external appearance, but about vital energy. Would you still accept diminishing your light to fit in places that no longer correspond to who you are? Would you still apologize for being true? Would you still silence your inner voice just to maintain a false peace? When you act like someone who already trusts themselves, like someone who doesn't need to chase because they already possess internally what they seek, your frequency changes. Universal intelligence responds to this alignment because the field perceives the consistency between your vibration and the reality you chose. It's at this point that what many call quantum manifestation occurs. Your choices, even the simplest ones, like deciding to walk with posture, smile at yourself, or give thanks before sleeping, become threads that reinforce the fabric of this new reality. It's not about asking, when is this going to manifest? The real question is, how would I move today if I already knew this is manifested? This type of alignment removes the weight of waiting and replaces it with the silent confidence of someone who is already living in the flow. The secret is understanding that embodying the as if doesn't mean perfection. It's not about never doubting or never feeling vulnerable. It's about allowing yourself to constantly adjust your energy to return to center, remembering that with each choice, each gesture, you reinforce the connection with the reality that already exists in potential. This process isn't about giving up, but about deeply understanding what happens inside you. For years, sometimes for decades, the same emotional and mental programs have been running in your nervous system. Your body got used to patterns of limitation, to the sensation of scarcity, to continuous effort, and even to the idea of not being enough. That's why it's natural for it to offer resistance when you begin to strengthen a new quantum bond. This isn't failure. This is recalibration. Think as if you were tuning a radio station. When you turn the dial, you don't hear total silence, but static. The static doesn't prove the station doesn't exist. On the contrary, it's a sign that you're on your way to the correct frequency. The same thing happens with you. The phases when you catch yourself doubting yourself, reliving old patterns, or thinking about scarcity are part of the adjustment process. It's as if old wires were trying to anchor you in an already outdated state. I call this entanglement anchors. They're memories and habits trying to keep the old connection active. Each time you notice you're using this old connection, a choice point opens up. It's not time to judge or get irritated with yourself. It's time to redirect gently. Ask yourself, how would the part of me that already lives this feel now? What would it think? What would it choose to do next? Even if it's just for 5 minutes, consciously decide to act from this new version. Each small choice trains your neural pathways to prefer the new path. Neuroscience confirms the brain is always remodeling itself based on what we think, feel, and do repeatedly. By choosing elevated responses instead of conditioned ones, you literally build new neural networks that sustain the reality you want to experience. But there's something even deeper. From a quantum perspective, each thought, each coherent emotion is also a signal sent to the field. When you think and act consistently with the desired reality, you're not just changing your brain, you're strengthening the energetic link with that reality. Your heart is an extremely powerful electromagnetic transmitter. When heart and mind enter coherence, when your emotions and elevated thoughts align, this field becomes a very strong anchor for manifestation. Various studies show that this state of heart coherence can influence the field around you. You begin to act as a coherent transmitter, sending to the universe not just mental images, but a vibrational presence that universal intelligence recognizes. This is the essence of quantum manifestation. It's not asking, begging, or trying harder. It's becoming the living anchor of the reality that your future self already inhabits. At this point, the field begins to respond. People start treating you differently, new opportunities appear, creative ideas emerge. It's not cosmic favoritism. It's that your connection became strong enough to cut through the noise. You stopped sending energy to someday and began investing energy in now. This is coherence. The interesting thing is that the mind will try to interfere. It will say, "But this hasn't happened yet," or "Don't you think you're exaggerating?" This is just the echo of your history trying to keep you in the known place. Listen with gentleness and then move forward anyway. It's not about convincing other people or proving something to the world. It's about training your entire body to accept what your soul already knows to be true. Start today with something simple. Make an affirmation as if it were already fulfilled. Choose a gesture, an action, a thought, and experience it as if it were already yours. It doesn't need to be big, just coherent. The field is more open than you imagine to receive this connection. And each time you act like someone who is already linked to the new reality, that reality gets closer. You stop reacting and start radiating. This is how manifestation really works. You become the very frequency of what you chose to experience. When the field responds to your vibration, the physical world inevitably begins to reflect this new state. Every detail of your life begins to act as a mirror of what you've become inside. I want you to notice something important. Even a simple click on the like button right now isn't just a digital gesture. Think of it as pressing a save button within yourself. You're anchoring this new consciousness in your own energetic field. By liking, you send a command to your subconscious that you want to keep this information active. It's like recording a new neural pathway, telling universal intelligence, "I choose to sustain this frequency." And if you feel in your heart that you really want to live this new reality, subscribe. Subscribing to this content isn't just a formality. It's energetically declaring that you want to remain connected to this current of information and receive regular activations to support your journey. This makes your energy more consistent, creating a more stable and sustained quantum manifestation. Breathe deeply with me now. Maybe there's an old voice coming from way back at the beginning, saying this is exaggerated, that it's already too much information. If this resistance arises, pay attention. It's not a sign of error, but that you're about to cross an internal portal. The feeling of strangeness is a milestone. It means the old reality is losing its grip on you. Don't stop now. This is the crucial moment. We're entering territory where signs begin to appear in your daily life. They're the synchronicities, the symbols, the numbers that emerge from nowhere, showing that your entanglement with the new reality is real. Up to here, you've been building internally. Now the external begins to respond. It's the phase when the field confirms, subtly, that it's hearing your new frequency. Sometimes, in the middle of this journey, it seems like time has stopped. You're no longer chasing anything. Your internal work is done. Your energy is more stable. And yet, on the outside, it seems like nothing grand has changed. But inside, something profound has shifted. Your mind is less noisy, your nervous system feels safer, and small transformations begin to appear in the way you deal with life. And then, suddenly, numbers begin to repeat on the clock, on the receipt, on the license plate of the car in front of you. One of them appears with almost magical frequency. 777. Maybe at first you think it's coincidence, but the subtler part of you recognizes it's not chance. It's a message, a gentle awakening, an energetic reflection of the state you've reached. You didn't go out looking for signs, and that's precisely why they emerge. There's no desperation in this process, because the field only responds to connection, never to neediness. The 777 only manifests when your entanglement is strong enough for the quantum field to speak back. It's not saying your manifestation will arrive soon. It's showing that your energy has already matched what is yours on another level. The bond you created, sometimes consciously, sometimes just through presence, became so solid that it began to reflect back to you. In mystical traditions, the number 7 has always been linked to divine wisdom, inner knowledge, intuition. When it presents itself 3 times, it stops being just a sign of perfection and becomes an energetic signature of harmony. This means your feelings, your actions, and your thoughts are no longer at war with each other. You stopped trying to create something from a body that thought itself unworthy. Your mind stopped imagining while your heart sent signals of doubt. Even without absolute perfection, you achieved enough coherence to alter your timeline. From the perspective of quantum physics, 777 symbolizes the moment when the wave of possibility begins to manifest. You're still in the field of infinite possibilities, but your focused connection is pulling reality toward a specific manifestation, the one you've been building by stabilizing emotionally and transforming from within. The field perceives not through words, but through your state of being. This is the language universal intelligence understands: vibrational coherence. So when this number appears, don't see it as mere superstition. See it as a reminder that your frequency is already dialoguing with another version of you. It's the subtle confirmation that your quantum manifestation is no longer theory, but a process in progress. The number that appears before you isn't a prize or something that will deliver something directly. It's more like an echo of what you're already vibrating. It doesn't offer external rewards, it reflects the energetic state you maintain and the connection you've already created. Upon realizing this, you may feel a growing internal harmony, a sensation of alignment between who you are and who you're becoming. A powerful way to confirm this connection is to record this experience, whether by writing, mentalizing, or reflecting. By doing this, you declare to universal intelligence that you're perceiving the message, further strengthening your quantum manifestation. Now let me share something that might surprise you. These synchronistic numbers aren't mere coincidences or random occurrences. They represent what quantum physicists call non-local correlation. That is, your consciousness is so tuned to the desired reality that it has entangled with the corresponding quantum information. The number, in this context, becomes a concrete bridge, a visible sign of the invisible bond between who you are now and who you're becoming. It gets even more fascinating. The number 777 usually emerges in moments I call reality convergence points. These are moments when different timelines or possibilities begin to align. In quantum mechanics, we know that all possible realities exist simultaneously. It's the famous many worlds interpretation. When you perceive 777, you're approaching a point where your consciousness will merge more completely with the timeline that corresponds to your sustained connection. However, attention. The period right after these synchronicities is crucial. Many people see the signs and unconsciously relax their focus, thinking that the simple appearance of the number is enough for manifestation to occur. Actually, this is a call to refine your attention. You're on the edge of transformation, and the wave is about to materialize. It's at this moment that your commitment to keeping the connection firm is more important than ever. According to classical physics, particles shouldn't be able to cross energy barriers. But in quantum physics, this is possible, the phenomenon called quantum tunneling. You, at this moment, are accomplishing something equivalent. Your consciousness is crossing the wall that separates the present reality from the one you want to experience. The number 777 functions as an indicator that you're breaking limits, shattering internal and external structures that previously seemed insurmountable. During this tunneling phase, it's natural to feel some resistance. The external world may seem to pressure, offering distractions, doubts, or challenges. But this resistance isn't an obstacle. It's a test of the strength of your connection. The more you maintain your vibrational state stable, secure, and firm, the clearer the manifestation becomes. Personally, I've experienced this very clearly. There was a moment when I noticed 777 repeatedly for days, without initially perceiving the pattern. It was as if my own field was reminding me, "You're already connected. Don't forget to remain present in this frequency." The feeling of internal security and alignment was so intense that my perception of the world changed instantly. Each choice, each gesture seemed more coherent with the version of myself I wanted to become. Therefore, whenever you notice these signs, don't underestimate their power. They're not just numbers, they're indicators that your energy is already resonating with the future you want to create. They confirm that your quantum manifestation doesn't depend on external proof, but on the care you dedicate to the internal connection. Maintaining this coherence is fundamental to crossing this threshold and making full contact with the reality you're already beginning to build. Old patterns from the past may become more intense before dissolving completely. Unexpected situations may arise, challenges that seem beyond your control. But it's important to understand that the universe isn't testing you. Actually, it's the structure of the old reality adjusting to accommodate the new reality you're connecting with. It's like renovating the house while still living in it. The temporary mess may seem chaotic, but it's serving the greater purpose of change. It's precisely at this point that many people are deceived. Upon perceiving the number 777, some interpret it as permission to relax, retreat, or believe that everything has already been resolved. But now is not the time to step away. On the contrary, it's the moment to stay firm, to stick to your foundation and deepen the connection you're cultivating. Every instant matters because the quantum field responds to the coherence of your energy. It's your responsibility not to interrupt this flow, to let the field continue synchronizing with you without hesitation. You may have heard that manifestations happen quickly, but in the quantum realm, nothing occurs instantaneously. What seems immediate in daily life is the result of a silent accumulation of energy and alignment in the invisible world. The 777 represents the point where changes begin to become perceptible, the threshold between intention and certainty. It's the moment when reality begins to solidify around you, like water slowly freezing. However, 777 goes beyond being just a sign that everything is in order. It's a call to be more present, to embody your new version, to perceive your body, emotions, and thoughts in this instant. Ask yourself, would this be the feeling of someone who already lives the reality I desire? Would they be hurried? Would they ask for more proof? Or would they trust the foundation being built silently, beneath what is visible? This is the true point of transformation. You're not just bringing an external result, but profoundly changing who you are, your thoughts, emotions, gestures, and words. It's this identity that makes the field react, not just external desires or expectations. If you feel this connection not just in your mind, but also in your body, allowing each cell to absorb this certainty, breathe deeply and let your nervous system feel security. Accept that you're no longer becoming aligned, but are already integrated. The change isn't coming, it's stabilizing. What you imagined, what you dreamed, already exists in a version of you that is naturally connected through a solid quantum manifestation. Numbers like 777 may be just symbols, but they also function as a subtle language of the universe, a form of communication that confirms your attunement. By recording mentally or in writing, you strengthen your connection and send a message of coherence to universal intelligence, expanding your energy and allowing it to connect with others who share the same vibration. By doing this, you become a beacon, radiating your truth and aligning with the flow of collective energy that is awakening. Manifestation isn't just about getting what you want. It's, above all, remembering who you really are. Every reality you seek, happiness, peace, purpose, connection, already exists in a version of you that you're naturally linked to. It's not something external you need to conquer or earn. There's a quantum link within you that needs to be stabilized. And 777 is a reminder that your connection is firm and active. Think about this. Each time you feel this resonance, you're not just observing a number. You're recognizing the truth of your own essence, the capacity to live in coherence with the reality your future version already occupies. And the more you maintain this awareness, the more your physical life begins to naturally reflect this new frequency. You're no longer trying to force results. You're being the anchor of your own reality, allowing the field to respond consistently and reliably. The truth is, you've been through this before. There have been moments when everything seemed to align perfectly. Instants when time seemed to stop and you felt completely calm, for no apparent reason. Moments when your heart opened unexpectedly, as if a deeper energy were flowing. When the right words emerged effortlessly, and the choices you made seemed to come from a deeper place in your being. These events weren't mere coincidences. They were glimpses of your true self, of the version of you that is increasingly connected to the life you naturally create. The crucial point is that it's not possible to force these moments with quantum manifestation. What you can do is learn to remain in these states more frequently, making them your base of experience. This way, you won't need to imagine anything more, because you'll be living what you previously only saw in your mind. Your life will change, but not instantaneously. The indication that this is happening are the small signs, subtle but revealing. A conversation that flows surprisingly, the internal peace that maintains itself even while everything around seems chaotic, or a choice that arises naturally, without needing hours of reflection. These signs show that your main quantum connection is stabilizing. You're no longer reaching for the field. You've become one with it, merged, building a connection that no longer depends on your past. This is crucial because your old self will still try to speak. It may emerge with thoughts like, "Who do you think you are?" or "You need proof to believe." Each time this voice appears, a choice arises. Do you retell the old story or maintain the new bond for one more second? Understanding how identity changes at this point is vital. Your identity isn't just the narrative you tell about yourself. It's an energetic structure that keeps you connected to a certain reality. When you've lived for a long time with a limited identity, your entire body oriented itself around this connection. Your nervous system, endocrine system, and even immune system were programmed to sustain the old self. So when you begin to live according to a new identity, your body may initially resist. Some people experience what are called upper limit problems, which make positive changes or successes generate discomfort because they don't match the historical reference point. Surprisingly, this is a positive sign, showing you're leaving your comfort zone and establishing new connections in the brain. The most important point to remember is that you don't need to wait for your body to get used to the new identity. Actually, waiting for comfort can delay or even prevent change. Instead, Learn to feel good while uncomfortable, understanding that this temporary tension is a sign of growth and that your nervous system is adapting to sustain a stronger and more elevated connection. A powerful technique that accelerates this process is what I call identity bridges. Instead of trying to jump directly from the current identity to the desired one, you create intermediate identities that serve as steps. For example, if you face financial difficulties now but want to embody abundance, you can start by connecting to the identity of someone who is learning to receive abundance or who is becoming more financially conscious. This approach allows your body and mind to adjust gradually, strengthening the energetic foundation for quantum manifestation. These bridges work because each small change in behavior, thought, and emotion sends consistent signals to the quantum field. By living as this intermediate identity, you begin to train your nervous system and create new neural roots that support the reality you want to experience. Each conscious choice, the way you breathe, move, speak, or make decisions, becomes a thread that strengthens the link with this new reality. It's a process of neural and energetic reprogramming, aligning you not just with your desires, but with the version of you that already lives them naturally. What's most fascinating is that as you consolidate these identity bridges, the quantum field begins to respond consistently and reliably, reflecting the harmony you've cultivated internally. You stop asking the universe and become the very anchor of your reality, allowing manifestation to happen as a result of your internal coherence. With each step, you remember the abundance, peace, love, and fulfillment you seek already exist in a version of you that is naturally connected, and all you need to do is stabilize this connection and allow it to manifest in your daily life. This process gives your nervous system time to gradually get used to the change. Each identity bridge contains different voices, thoughts, feelings, and ways of acting. You use these intermediate identities repeatedly until they become natural, part of you, and then move to the next one. This prevents your system from being overloaded or surprised, which could generate self-sabotage. The change becomes smoother, more lasting, and more integrated. You allow your nervous system to gradually get used to the change. Each identity bridge acts as a smooth transition, with different internal voices thinking, feeling, and acting in distinct ways. By traversing these intermediate identities repeatedly, they become natural, creating a solid foundation for the next stage. This avoids shocks to the body or mind, which could lead to self-sabotage, making the transformation more fluid and lasting. Respect for this gradual evolution is essential. Recognizing that you're still in the process of change and growth allows the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming to strengthen, creating continuity between past and future. What's fascinating is that this process directly reflects the principles of quantum physics. Just as particles don't move linearly from one energetic state to another, consciousness also advances through quantum leaps via intermediate states that exist only temporarily. Each transitional identity allows you to connect with who you're really becoming, and each leap strengthens this connection lastingly. The true power lies in remaining in the state of already achieved. not to impress or fool the universe, but because this is your essential reality. There's no need for external confirmation. You're living it. The universe doesn't need to be convinced. It just reflects your energetic consistency and the clarity of the connection. Manifesting in this context doesn't mean exercising control or imposing your will on the external world. It's about aligning your inner state so coherently and consistently that the reality around you begins to naturally adjust to your energetic frequency. When this internal harmony is achieved, a singular experience emerges: deep peace. It's not about momentary excitement or passing urgency, but about lasting serenity that provides emotional stability and mental clarity. In this state, you're no longer chasing results, but allowing energy to flow freely, returning to you in the form of opportunities, encounters, insights, and experiences that resonate with your aligned and cohesive identity. This peace isn't just a pleasant side effect. It functions as a true manifestation accelerator. Research in neuroscience shows that states of calm and force are associated with the activation of specific brain frequencies known as the alpha-theta bridge. In this range, the brain integrates conscious and subconscious functions, allowing both to work in synergy. The subconscious becomes more receptive to new patterns, beliefs, and habits, while the conscious mind remains attuned to the subtleties of quantum information, such as signs, synchronicities, and insights. This alignment creates a solid foundation for intentions and desires to consolidate naturally without the need for additional effort. Allowing yourself to remain in this state of peace requires inner strength and discipline. It requires you to be active in the process of allowing, maintaining a posture of observation and trust, without trying to control, manipulate, or rush results. Remaining in this state doesn't mean passivity. On the contrary, it's a highly efficient form of action, because each coherent thought, each conscious breath, and each sensation of tranquility strengthens your energetic signature in the quantum field. This internal balance ensures that the energy you emit is aligned with the desired manifestation, making the realization of intentions a natural reflection of your state of being, not a forced achievement. Furthermore, deep peace acts as a stabilizer of the nervous system and emotions, allowing you to deal with external situations without losing alignment. By maintaining this state, your perception becomes clearer. You notice previously invisible opportunities and respond to challenges with balance and creativity. This emotional and mental stability strengthens energetic coherence, increasing the consistency of your connection with the desired reality and accelerating manifestation processes. In essence, the more you internalize this serenity, the more you become the convergence point between your internal energy and the external forms you want to see materialize, creating organic and continuous manifestation. The analogy with caring for a garden is perfect. You plant the energetic seed with your thoughts and feelings, ensure adequate conditions, and then trust that growth will occur. There's no need to dig up the seed daily or accelerate the process. Patience and constancy in care allow growth to develop organically. Similarly, by nurturing your quantum connection, you maintain the bond with what you want to manifest, while the quantum field performs its part naturally. The moment you release the need to control results, miracles begin to occur spontaneously. What happens frequently is even more surprising than you had imagined, because there are no limits imposed by the mind on how manifestation should unfold. This conscious surrender creates space for the universe to manifest with infinite creativity, revealing possibilities that previously seemed impossible. The key is understanding that manifesting isn't about making the world bend to your will, but about making your inner state so aligned and coherent that reality automatically reflects your essence. It's not about force or speed, but about consistency and presence. Each thought, feeling, and action anchor your quantum connection, transforming your energy into a magnetic field of influence. It's not about how fast you act or how hard you push. It's about how long you can remain in the energy of already being, of already possessing. It's not to please anyone or fool the quantum field, but because this is your reality in this moment. There's no need for external confirmations. You're becoming the experience itself. You're not doing something worthy, you're living what is already real. The universe doesn't need to be persuaded. It simply reflects what you already are. This is the true meaning of manifestation. It's not about making the world act according to your will, but about aligning your internal state so deeply that the world begins to reflect this coherence. Not because you control matter, but because you released resistance, cleared your connection, and eliminated the noise between your highest self and the present experience. And when this happens, something strange and wonderful manifests. Peace. It's not passing excitement, nor a sense of urgency. It's deep peace, the certainty that you're no longer chasing anything. You simply let go, receive, and observe your own energy returning in the form of opportunities, connections, understanding, and grace. Most people don't realize that this state of peace is a powerful manifestation accelerator. Brain waves naturally change to what neuroscientists call the alpha-theta bridge. In this state, the conscious and subconscious mind work together harmoniously. Your subconscious becomes highly receptive to programming new realities, while your conscious mind connects more deeply to your quantum connection. But peace isn't passivity. It requires inner strength to remain in an active state of allowing. Learning to manifest from peace may seem counterintuitive in a culture that values effort and hard work above results. We've been conditioned to believe that you need to push, fight, and force for something to happen. However, quantum manifestation works differently. It's like caring for a garden. You plant the seeds, ensure adequate conditions, and then let nature act. It's not necessary to dig every day to check if the seeds are growing, nor try to accelerate them. You simply trust the process and maintain the conducive environment. Similarly, in quantum manifestation, you initiate the process by planting the energetic seed with your thoughts, feelings, and intentions. This seed functions as a vibrational signature, a point of origin that communicates to the quantum field the reality you want to experience. Keeping the connection alive with who you are and what you do is essential. Each action, each emotion, and each thought pattern reinforces this signature, making it clearer and more coherent to the universe. By allowing the quantum field to operate freely, you create an environment in which reality organizes itself in response to your energy, instead of depending on effort or external control. In this state of conscious surrender, miracles and synchronicities begin to occur naturally. Releasing control over results and stopping trying to manipulate time or the way things happen allows the universe to manifest solutions that often exceed your expectations. What materializes can be even better than you had imagined, precisely because there are no limitations imposed by the mind on how events should occur. This process demonstrates that quantum manifestation isn't about trying to make something happen, but about creating internal conditions that allow life to organize itself in harmony with your energy. The deepest paradox of this process is that conscious surrender doesn't represent weakness, but rather the highest form of strength in quantum manifestation. When body, mind, and heart are aligned, you become a direct channel for the operation of universal intelligence. Each cell, each heartbeat, and each thought pattern begins to emit energetic coherence, strengthening the connection with the quantum field. This alignment transforms the act of letting go into a powerful tool of continuous creation, allowing manifestation to unfold fluidly and sustainably without additional effort. The more you practice the feeling that your quantum manifestation already exists within you, the less urgency there will be for it to materialize externally. This doesn't indicate delay or testing by the universe. Actually, it reveals how the perception of need or lack is related to disconnection from the state you want to integrate. By observing your desire with lightness and gratitude instead of anxiety, worry, or tension, your body and mind begin to recognize that what you seek is already part of your vibrational experience. This shift in perspective allows energy to stabilize and the quantum field to respond consistently to the coherence you maintain. Furthermore, this practice strengthens the feeling of internal security, allowing you to inhabit states of peace and trust even before seeing any concrete manifestation. When you maintain this alignment, you create a solid foundation for energetic intentions to transform into tangible reality. Each coherent thought, emotion, and behavior reinforces the bond between your energy and the desired manifestation, making the process more efficient and natural. In summary, quantum manifestation doesn't depend on external effort, but on the consistency and clarity of your presence, the coherence of your body, and unshakable trust in the universal intelligence that operates through you. This change is one of the deepest you can make, learning to stabilize in a state of trust and internal coherence regardless of external circumstances. The more you return to this state, the more your nervous system understands it's safe to remain in it. It's not about perfection or controlling every detail of life, but about transforming this state of presence and connection into something natural and continuous. You learn to stay aligned even when the world seems unpredictable, because you've already become part of the quantum field. It responds to you with fidelity because you've shown you can keep the connection firm and constant. Now, if you feel it's the right moment, leave this phrase in the comments. I am the peace that manifests my reality. My inner state creates the life that already exists within me. Breathe deeply now and allow all this consciousness to settle in you, not as new information that needs to be memorized, but as knowledge you already possess and that now integrates into your body and mind. Notice how your energy stabilizes, how your body adjusts to the idea that you're already changing. You're not waiting for change to happen. You already are the change in action. Each insight, each sensation of alignment, is a confirmation that the quantum reality you desire is already in the process of manifestation. If you observe carefully, you may notice that certain moments of this process emerged exactly when they were needed, as if they had illuminated a piece of the puzzle that was previously out of reach. This isn't just theoretical content. It functions as an energetic mirror that reflects your internal evolution and confirms that the quantum connection you've been visualizing already exists. By recognizing this, your mind and body begin to respond coherently, and the perception that the desired reality is distant gives way to the experience that it already manifests within you, even if it hasn't yet materialized externally. By allowing yourself to breathe deeply, feel, and integrate this consciousness, you're practicing more than intellectual reading. You're rehearsing your own quantum reality. Each conscious breath, each moment of mindful attention, acts as a catalyst to transform potential into concrete form. It's not just about studying or understanding abstract ideas. It's about feeling, experiencing, and perceiving that you are the central point of convergence between what is imagined and what manifests. This process activates coherence between mind, body, and heart, creating a resonance that accelerates the materialization of what is aligned with your energy. With repetition of this state, your energetic system undergoes profound reorganization. Neural networks adjust, reinforcing thought and behavior patterns that are aligned with the reality you want to experience. Your mind and heart come into harmony, forming a coherent field that makes your presence magnetic, receptive, and harmonized. In this state, you stop automatically reacting to external stimuli and begin responding from a place of internal alignment, where each thought, each action, and each emotion sustain the bond with the desired reality. This continuous practice differentiates quantum manifestation from any superficial or mechanical attempt to achieve results. It's not about forcing external circumstances or manipulating events. It's about becoming the version of yourself that already naturally inhabits the reality you aspire to. The more you remain in this state, the more the quantum field responds consistently to your internal coherence, generating synchronicities, opportunities, and responses that reflect your deep alignment. Furthermore, by consolidating this state of presence and coherence, your body learns to recognize this energy as safe and natural, allowing anxiety, doubt, and resistance to progressively diminish. The brain begins to operate on frequencies that more efficiently integrate conscious and subconscious, while the heart acts as a magnetic transmitter that reinforces the connection between your internal state and the universe around you. This means that each thought, each feeling, and each gesture begin to be interpreted by the quantum field as clear signals of your alignment, accelerating the manifestation of results that are in harmony with your energy. Even if moments of doubt or discomfort still arise, it's important to understand that each step in this process represents a confirmation of trust in universal intelligence and in the structure of the quantum field. This continuous alignment isn't just a mental exercise. It involves subtle adjustments in physiology, breathing patterns, and heart coherence, factors that help stabilize your energy and maintain internal harmony. By allowing your internal coherence to strengthen, you create an energetic environment conducive for the quantum field to respond consistently and predictably, without the need for effort or conscious manipulation. The peace that emerges in this state differs significantly from common excitement or anxiety. It acts as a solid foundation for quantum manifestation, functioning as fertile ground where intentions and possibilities can crystallize naturally. When this tranquility is sustained, the brain tends to operate in specific frequency patterns that facilitate integration between conscious and subconscious, allowing thoughts, emotions, and perceptions to align coherently. This process opens space for perceiving subtle signs, precise intuitions, and meaningful coincidences, phenomena that reflect the harmony between your energy and the quantum field. By stabilizing your internal presence, you become a convergence point between multiple simultaneous possibilities. The field around you begins to reorganize according to this coherence, more faithfully reflecting the state of alignment you maintain. It's not about creating something externally. It's about recognizing, activating, and consolidating the reality that's already available, strengthening the bridge between your current state and the potential you want to manifest. This process also optimizes neural efficiency, reinforcing thought networks that sustain the perception of abundance, connection, and clarity. Furthermore, the continuous practice of maintaining this state of coherence strengthens emotional and cognitive resilience. The ability to remain centered in the face of challenges increases, and the mind begins to react less to external conditions, while intuition and energetic perception become more precise. In other words, internal coherence not only accelerates the manifestation of desired results, but also promotes lasting changes in how you process experiences, make decisions, and interact with the reality around you. This alignment generates a cumulative effect. The more you remain in this state of peace and conscious presence, the more the quantum field adjusts possibilities in your favor. This means that events, opportunities, and synchronicities begin to emerge consistently, reinforcing the perception that your energy and intentions are already integrated into the reality you seek to live. Quantum manifestation, therefore, doesn't depend on external effort, but on maintaining solid internal coherence, which allows the universe to naturally reflect the potential you already contain within yourself. Finally, understanding this principle transforms not only how you manifest, but how you perceive yourself. It's not about accumulating achievements or results, but about remembering who you really are, a being capable of aligning with universal intelligence and living in harmony with your own quantum manifestation. Each conscious moment, each sensation of integration, reinforces that change isn't something that comes from outside. It already dwells within you. You're not striving to reach something new. You're allowing yourself to live what is already rightfully yours. stabilizing the energy that connects you to the reality you desire. I deeply thank you for sharing your awakening journey with Quantum Labs. Welcome to your new reality. Receive it. You deserve it.